just simplify. Let's just make it easier. Because like you said, it starts with your mind.
It does.
All right.
It
so when
does.
you decide, you know, but this is not good for me, and this other side is good for me, and then you start working towards it.
Right.
So how best do we start? And starting with, let's say, the foods that we eat.
Okay.
All right. We talked a little bit about how important it is for us to go back to our roots and take traditional foods.
Correct.
But truth is, like you said, we have to go to work. All
Yes.
right. And some people work late.
Yes.
And don't have time to cook. So come back home, it's too late, you can't cook, just order takeout, and then you're done for that night.
Correct.
So let's start from morning until evening.
Okay.
What is the best in terms of the kinds of food that we should eat and the quantities?
Absolutely. So the first thing when you're going into your office, you want to ensure you have a proper breakfast. And when I say a proper breakfast, it means you want to make sure you have a protein in your breakfast. And proteins are things like eggs, chicken, beef, lamb, cow meat. That's all protein. You can also have a yogurt in there as a protein. You can also have beans as protein, even though they have more carbohydrates, but those you can also add in there, so your form of legumes. The first thing I want you to do is you want to make sure your breakfast is rich in protein.
All right.
You also want to have fiber in your breakfast. So you have a lot of vegetables in your breakfast. A lot of people tend to think, oh my God, you know, how can I have fiber in the morning? It's so simple. You could do either an omelette in the morning. So you have your eggs with maybe tomatoes and dania. So you have a lot of that. Or you can have your eggs with courgette, or you can have your eggs with peppers, red, green, yellow pepper. So that gives it, you know, so you have your protein and you have your fiber in there. Or you can even have your dinner for breakfast. So whatever you had last night for dinner, have it in the morning for breakfast.
Yes.
But the key is this. The first thing in the morning, never leave your house on an empty stomach.
All right.
Because
guilty
as charged. Because the minute you do that, you honestly set yourself up for failure throughout the day.
Okay.
What happens is, if you do not have a good breakfast, you go into your office, and what's been served in the office, because I just saw what you guys were serving over here, you know, let's assume you see mandazis, right, with tea, chapos with tea. So you'll end up eating that, and what that does is, it ends up spiking your insulin. So you're not finding that you have that, your sugars are not balanced, right? And when you find that they're not balanced, you really throw yourself off hormonally. You find that you're craving all the wrong foods. You find that you're eating all the wrong things, a lot of sugars. So the first thing in the morning, you want to be sure you had a really nice, healthy breakfast.
Okay, but full of protein. Like
protein and fiber.
And fiber. Oh,
it's important. You must have
what
that
about
fiber.
The carbs? You know, we think.
And carbs are important. They are.
All right.
I know there's been a lot of people are doing like either low carb or no carbs, but a lot of people are not being able to sustain that long term. But I can show you how to eat them really well. So I'd have that also in the morning. So have your carbs again in the morning. Then after that, around break time, instead of having the tea and mandazi, honestly, I would have something like an apple. So isn't that something you can carry to your office?
You can.
You can?
But
what?
We're hungry.
But remember, you've already started off with a heavy breakfast.
Okay.
So what happens is, you will notice you're not that hungry that you've talked about. Remember, we've already admitted we don't eat breakfast. So that's why you'll find that like 10, you're like, dang, I gotta eat something. I'm really, really hungry.
Yes.
So no, I want you to have like an apple and some nuts.
All right.
Again, what that does, your nuts have some protein and fat in there. Your apple has some sugar, some good carbohydrates in there, and fiber. So again, this is going to balance your sugars. So we're talking about someone in the office, right? So this balances them up, so it keeps you still energetic. Your brain is clear. You're being able to think clearly. So that's going to help. That's number 2. Then you go for your lunch.
All right.
I would prefer you carry food from home. That's what I'd prefer, because you know what you've put in there. However, if they offer office lunch, or they're giving you food in the office, or you have to buy food out, again, I want you to stick with the protein, the fiber, and then the good carbohydrates. The one thing,
the good ones, there are good ones and the bad ones.
There are some good carbs, and there are those that can really spike your blood sugars in a bad way. Think about office, like for instance, fries, chips, chipo. with a lot of zimedipu and mafuta, right? So what do those things do? Is they end up, again, they mess your system up. The oils that they use are not healthy for our bodies. And if you're eating those consistently, over time, you're wondering, why am I noticing my cup of tea is getting a little bit bigger? You know what I mean? So it's important, again, for your lunch, you want to stick with a lot of fiber, good protein, and some good carbs. Yeah. Okay. So carbs, I would think, again, for me, I would stick more with the legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas, those kind of foods for your for your carbs. And if you need a little bit of, maybe very little chips, if you need some. You know what I mean? Later, I mean like a couple of bites.
Okay.
Couple of bites, like 2 to 3. Preferably stay away from them.
Okay.
And then what this does, as you can see, so you've had your breakfast, your snack, and your lunch. By evening, if you're needing a snack, again, I would have like a small, like an orange, or even like a yogurt. Because again, what these do is they keep your blood sugar satiated. Ideally, that's what we want to do throughout the day. So that when you're going home in the evening, which I've realized that tends to be the biggest meal. Because it's like, everyone's like, I am hungry. So you dig everything in that has been cooked. And that completely messes up our system. So what you want to do is, if you're eating small meals throughout the day, you keep your sugars balanced throughout the day. When you get home in the evening, you don't need to eat that big amount of food. Because what happens is, after you eat that food, then what do? We're sitting down again, then you're watching television,
and then you go to bed.
Then you're going to bed. So you don't even have the ample time to digest your food, which you need to. So what I want you to do is eat earlier. Your meals should be bigger in the morning, and they get smaller progressively as the day moves on.
Yes.